If you follow my channel, then you know I've been working on a dungeon crawl board game for the last couple years. And today is a very fun day because I just got my first hard proof back from GameCrafter. So I thought I would do an unboxing. I've never ordered a game from GameCrafter before, but if I were to flip the switch and make my dungeon crawl board game publicly available today, basically you would be able to go to GameCrafter, order the game. This game took about 3 weeks for them to print and mail to me. So 3 weeks later, you get a box like this, your basic United States Postal Service box. There's some packing material, and you've got the game. The game has been shrink wrapped. This is not like the super mega perfect shrink wrap that you might see with a AAA title. My main goal with this first hard proof is really just to see what the printing quality and component quality are like. I think the only fail would be if the home printed version actually looks better. So far, I'm really loving the look of the GameCrafter box. It looks professional, it feels professional. I like the weight of the cardboard here. Now, I originally designed my game to fit in this size box, but because the chits come unpunched, unfortunately I had to go one box size up. Now that I have this larger box in hand, this is the medium stout box from GameCrafter, I'm pretty happy with it. I don't think this box feels too big or too clunky. This box is really tight. There's no room for extra parts in this box at all. I will be able to fit some expansions in this box, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I've already got at least one expansion planned for this year. And I just love the idea that you could put the expansions in this box too. This is my very first opening of the box. I have not peeked inside of it. The quality of this cardboard is really good. So far, I'm very impressed with the quality of the box. Looks like there's a little bit of packing material here. Got 4 dice. I would love to have 4 dice and each dice be color-coded to a hero class. I may do some more shopping for dice and see what the best solution for dice is, but I basically just want 4 dice, 1 for each hero, 1 for each player. These cards feel so good, and they look so good. My biggest fear was that there would be some drift, but I see 0 drift. So far, I give the quality on these GameCrafter components an A. I would say they exceed my expectations so far. The substrate feels good. The colors look good. Maybe 5% too dark, but I can do an adjustment layer to fix that. The map tiles look really good. The rule book, this looks almost exactly like the rule book that I printed out on my home printer using my LaserJet printer. Once again, this seems to be trimmed perfectly. I don't see any drift on any of the pages. The copy is super clean and crisp and easy to read. Very happy with the rule book. And then the adventure book. Yeah, the page numbers are pretty low there, but they're not cropped, and I think that's on me. I think that's how I designed it. I could probably nudge those page numbers up a little bit. Everything looks really good. So I thought I would do an experiment and put the GameCrafter components in my homebrew box, because GameCrafter offers a box this size, but they said the components won't fit in this box. And I thought it would be fun to do an experiment and just see if they would fit. And it's like they almost fit. These are the chits. This is the card deck. And it's like a little too tall. But if the card deck was split into 2 decks of 30 cards instead of 1 deck of 60 cards, it actually would fit in the box. So, I mean, that's the type of thing that maybe I could talk to GameCrafter about. And if they were willing to package the card decks into 2 30-card decks instead of 1 60-card deck, I maybe could use the smaller box. Then I come back to the issue of you know, what about expansions? Each expansion would just have to have its own box instead of loading expansions into the main box. So that's something I need to consider. It'd be interesting to hear what you all think. Would you rather have a bigger box that the expansions could fit in, or would you rather have this like smaller, tighter box and then each expansion would have its own box? And then lastly, we have our chits. So this game comes with 10 punch boards, and each punch board has 15 chits on it. So for a total of 150 chits. Each chit has full bleed, and they're double-sided. And yeah, I can smell sort of a campfire smell, and there definitely is residue on each one of these punch boards, but they provide a little message, you know, wipe the soot off. The printing on these chits looks great. I would say in general, the Game Crafter print job has far exceeded my expectations. I don't know why, but I think I would just have very low expectations, and I was ready to be a little disappointed. The cuts are perfect. Everything's perfectly framed. I thought I was gonna have to go back and like make the text smaller and increase the margins, and I just thought there would be a lot of drift and a lot of art getting cut off, but all the cuts are just 100% spot on. Really, really impressed. So yeah, I wiped the soot off with a dry paper towel, and you can see the soot residue here. I don't know if I should use a slightly damp. Maybe I'll try slightly damp, but I don't want to ruin the chipboard. I'll probably do a little bit of research on that. So this first hard proof was really just a proof of concept. Does Game Crafter hold up? How do their chits look? How does the printing look? How do the substrates feel? And I'm gonna say A+. I couldn't have really envisioned anything better than what I've just got. The colors look good, the substrate feels good. After I ordered this hard proof, I got involved with a major set of revisions. I completely revised all the monster cards, front and back. I rewrote every one of them from scratch. I rewrote all the monster behaviors, mainly for clarification purposes. The rule book and the adventure book have come so far, and they're so much more readable and accessible now that the monster cards really became the bottleneck in trying to learn the game. I got rid of a lot of abbreviations and sentence fragments on the monster cards and really just tried to spell out the monster rules in plain English. After I announced beta, a couple more viewers of the channel stepped up and gave me a ton of really useful feedback on the rule sets. So I'm still rolling those revisions into the rules. I want the beta testing on this game to go very quickly. I want to get the beta copies ordered from Game Crafter in the next 2 days. If it's possible to put a rush on that, I'm going to put a rush on it so that I can actually get the hard copies in my hand in the next week or two. And then I would like to get them out to beta testers. The only kind of changes I really want to make to the game are maybe some minor rules revisions to the scenarios and maybe some minor tuning to the monsters, but I'm not doing any major revisions to the game at this point. I'm halfway tempted to just release the game as is, but I think I want to do my due diligence and go through a very tight, very fast beta testing process and then get version 1 out the door. And lastly, I just want to say that I really want to figure out how to make this game available in Europe. I understand that it's hard for Europeans to use Game Crafter, maybe even impossible, I'm not sure. But I've gotten a lot of questions from Europeans about making the game available, and I would love to. You know, I've spent a lot of time in Europe. I love Europe, and so it's my intention to try to come up with some solution